Hey guys, it's Penelope in London. We're looking at the chart of today. It's the 5th of April the 5th, and we've had Mercury moved into Aries a while ago. So we're just looking at where we're at the moment. And we've got, if you look at this chart, what you can do is you can get your own chart here. You can get your own birth natal chart if you can see where it says online here. Just there, you click on that and you put in your details, but you do need your time of birth in order for the chart to be correct, so you know what your rising sign is and where the moon falls, because those two things on a chart move really quickly. So what we have is that if we look at this chart, we've got the sun is conjunct Venus, so you can see the sun here is conjunct Venus, if you can see my marker, and then we've got the sun is sextile to Mars at the moment, so Mars is down here and that's a sextile. You can see that blue line there. And then the sun is sextile to Saturn. The sun is busy. The sun is sextile to Saturn up here. You can see that too. And that's, we've also got the moon is sextile to Mercury. The moon is conjunct Pluto. But the moon has actually moved off, but it's went over Pluto in the last hours gone by. So that's always a hard one, the moon, Pluto. And then we've got Mars is trine to Jupiter, which is quite lovely for us right now. And Mars is square to Neptune. So we're going to look at a few of these aspects and I'll explain them to you. We've got Saturn square Uranus, which is going on for the entire 2021. And then we've got the node is sextile. The north node is sextile to the sun. So you see the north node, that's our path, and it's sextile to the sun here. And then Lilith is square to Jupiter and Lilith is sextile to Neptune. And then Chiron is conjunct the sun. So Chiron here, you can see there, the sun is moving off. So it was in a closer, tighter conjunction a few days ago. So with the Mercury in Aries, what does it mean? So we're going to look at this. So if you've got Mercury in Aries at birth, then you do everything quickly. And also we can say things without thinking. It's where we can be very enthusiastic and very quick, and we sort of our interest will jump around onto new things and exciting experiences. It's just where, you know, Mercury is the mind and Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's also where we may seem to other people there is a fire behind us that is forcing them to act fast. So it's very quick. And it's quite interesting because I have Gemini sun and my thinking and Gemini moon, so I'm very fast anyway, but I do feel speeded up with this Mercury in Aries. I can tell you I'm getting a lot done, which is good. I'm using it in a good way. But also Mercury affects fire signs by creating a lot of liveliness, and it's also people that, you know, attract attention with their liveliness. And it's a very active mind and wants thoughts and words to become deeds. It's also important not to accept mental stimulation, but also challenges as well, and acknowledge that it takes time before an idea or goal can be realized. So it's not to get frustrated because the ruler is Mars. We don't want to be getting really frustrated with that. That sun conjunct Venus, which has been for the last few days, is quite beautiful. And what this conjunction highlights the feminine characteristics of both of sexes, not just the feminine, but the masculine as well. And it also supports our artistic and creative inclinations. And it's where we're optimistic and we can enjoy the company of other people, which has been quite useful over Easter weekend, I have to say. Venus takes 224 days around the chart, and the sun takes a year, as we know that. I'm going to jump over to solar fire in a moment. But the other thing I wanted to address that we've got coming up before I move on to more aspects is the Venus square Saturn transit that we've got upcoming. So what you can do as well, if you bring up your own chart, I'm going to show you, if you can see here, this is I'll make sure that I'm showing that actually new share. We've got that here. So this chart here is my natal chart, and this is astro.com. The other one is astro /seek.com. So if you look astroseek.com, this is different. This is astro.com. And this chart is my natal chart. And what you have is that we have, if I get my pointer, we've got here, we've got my rising sign, 27 degrees Scorpio. But if you look at this chart on the outside of the wheel, these are the transits. So if you can see here, that we've got Mercury is in the sign of Aries for me, and it's in my 4th house, but then it will be going into my 5th house throughout this month. So let's go over to, I'm going to go over now to the emanated page of Solar Fire. And what we've got coming up, we can see this is the same chart. I'm just going to get my pointer again. And here we've got, you can see that we've got Chiron, we've got the sun. This is at Aries at 0 degrees and the traditional zodiac. And then the way it works. And then we've got the sun and we've got Venus. And then we've also got Lilith here. So Venus will be hitting Lilith in the coming days. We've got this square from Saturn to Uranus, which is breaking free of limitations and restriction, and that's applying. And also that Saturn will be going retrograde later in May. And when it does, first of all, actually, I will mention that Pluto is going to go retrograde. So you can see Pluto's up here. It's going to go retrograde, and then that will be for 5 months. And that's going to happen on the 27th of April, April 27th. And then we have also the moon currently is in Aquarius at 2 degrees. So that's going to be going through Aquarius for the next 2.5 days, because that's how long the moon takes to move through a sign. And what I'm going to tell you here is you can see our Mercury up here. So that's going to be moving through Aries, and it will hit then Chiron, and then it will move past Venus, and then it will be on top of Lilith and so forth. So we can see, because all of the planets are moving different speeds. If I want to take this chart, I'm going to take this chart forward, and we're going to look at Venus square Saturn transit. So if you can see the day up here, this is the 7th of April, and we're going to look at Venus, and we're going to look at Saturn is here. That's at 11 degrees. And so basically what we're looking for is this to go forward, Venus. And we've got, it's going to be the 25th of April. So we're going to go forward. And we got April the 25th there. And what we have is that you can see that Saturn then is 12 degrees and that we will have Venus at 13. So let's just move it back a few hours, because then it will be an exact, and we're just going to move it back. There you go, 12. So that will be in a square. So what does that mean? So when Venus is square to Saturn, the transit can add stress to our lives. It can sort of bring delay to, making us shy, because Saturn is restricting, and Venus, is not great when Saturn in a square. There can also be a feeling of distance or relationship problems that we may have, and hindrances. And it's also, fears and criticisms, and, we may not want to face the same from others. We might be feeling that and projecting that, but not want to face that. And the way around this is to maintain harmony. It would be better for us to spend some time alone during that period. It doesn't mean we ignore the love of others, but it just means that we will risk, relationship dramas. So we need to be aware that we're going to be feeling restricted, and Venus wants to be loving, but we can feel, uncomfortable with the Saturn-Venus square. It's also that this influence, we can feel a bit lonely, sort of like a little bit low, on the low side. And this is totally normal for our human, life. It's just that sometimes we can get a bit low, and then we think we're staying that way, when it's just something that's going to pass quickly, and then we can get back to being harmonious and peaceful, and that will probably last a few days. So if you look 12, and it'll be a few days before and a few days afterwards, because the conjunction will be, if we look and we go forward, we can see that Venus moves quite quickly. So it's not a permanent fixture, okay, when that happens. Although we may lack motivation at that time, and, it may require hard work, relationships can feel quite hard at that time. So I think that's it for today. I'm going to leave it there. And if you've got any questions, then let me know. And any comments, leave them below, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.